Brian Jack's Rakkety Tam, Chapter 20. Alright, let's jump in. Abbot Humble and his team of Redwall held a long patrol carry their wounded into the abbey. He walked alongside the stretcher on which the brigadier was being carried. Humble held the hare's paw. "I can't thank you enough for coming to our rescue the way you did, sir." Crumshaw's jaw tightened as it jolted slightly. "Don't mention it, Father. All in the line of duty, you know." Captain Furlodon and Sir John Wanwill carried the body of Dunsey between them. Furlodon Domain came hurrying over to the place, a comforting paw about the shoulders of Dunsey's twin sister, Kirsty. There now, old Joe, what can one say? Your brother went down bravely. He was a perilous warrior. What? Kirsty was her brother got shot in the last chapter. Kirsty was dry-eyed and tight-faced, obviously in deep shock. A kindly mole wife intervened to take care of her. "You leave this young one to me, sir. Come in here, I beg dear. It's been needed a good rest." Sister Armel and Brookie were assisted in the hare, who had an arrow protruding from his footpaw. As they came through the gate, Tam joined her, still carrying the sword of the marten. "Armel, how are you?" Sam nodded at her patience. "Much better than this poor hare, thank you. I heard how you leaped the abbey wall and slew 5 of those brutes single-pawed. It was a very brave thing to do, Tam." Shuffling awkward, the brother warrior chuckled. "You've been listening to rumors, Doogie. Was with me. We scaled down the wall. It wasn't hard to do when you know how, and slayed 5 of the vermin. Well, I was just in the right place at the right moment." Doogie skirled at the trundled past, trailing his sword. "Ooch, if you fell doon a wall, well, I'll come with the cake and turn a paw. Next time you're passing out the bro swords, lassie, don't forget to save one bonny, handsome Highlander." The pretty squirrel made past the wounded hare to them. "I will, sir, if you can find me a bonny, handsome Highlander." "Will you and Tam help this patient up to my infirmary? Come on, I'll show you the way." When they arrived at Sister Sickbay, they were over casualties waiting besides the abbot and the brigadier concerned. Though he was the most seriously wounded, the brigadier refused to be treated until all his injured creatures had been seen to. He chatted with Tam as he waited. "Heard all about you, McBurrow. From what I'm told, you're a brave and perilous fighter. What, 6 of the blackguards, and you paid to 'em all, single-pawed by Jigo?" Tam corrected him. "'Twas only 5, sir, and I was just doing my duty. It was very sorry to hear about young Dunsey, and he was a gallant young galloper. I hope I got the scum who slew him, sir." Brigadier heaved a great sigh. "Young life like that. Wasted. My fault, really. I should have kept the rascal on cookhouse duties, but who knows? Maybe his luck would have ran out in a different way. I tell you, Tam, and long patrol is hard and dangerous life for any beast." Abbot Humble nodded in agreement. "Indeed it is, Brigadier. Indeed it is, sir. Brigadier, peaceable creatures without their protection. We've been long ago overrun and enslaved or killed by vermin." Tam rested his chin upon the pummel stone of Martin's wondrous sword. "Ah, you're right there, Father, and so are you, sir. We all chose our different paths. Some are born gentle, which others are destined to be warriors. Look at Doogie and me, all we've ever lived by in our blades. We could no more live quietly in the abbey, and the Abbot Humble could take to the sword. None of us was forced to do anything against our will. Poor young Dunsey was just an unlucky beast. He loved galloping and fighting with the patrol. If he had to die, I don't suppose we'd have to any other way. I could happen any warrior. Our fates are in the wind." Sister Melmo brought her trolley of dressings and herbs across to where Crimson lay. She eyed Crimson earnestly. "You're quite a deep thinker." Doogie looked up from the roll of bandage, and he was playing with. "Aye, lassie, you ken, and he learned all his deep thinking from me. Aye, and a fearful job trying to teach him." She slapped Doogie's paw and took the bandage from him. Do something useful, Mr. Plum. Take hold of Brigadier's paw. Tam, would you take care of his other paw, please? You'd have to hold him still whilst I remove that arrow. Highlander took a grip on Crumpler's paw. Ooch, young sister's a fearsome creature, Tam. She's a brawl paw slapper. Smiling, Armel ignored the jab. She worked skillfully on the wound, explaining as she went. Luckily, the arrow went right through. If I break the shaft, it pulls out easily from the back. See? Snap pull. There's no broken bone in there. It's a clean injury and it's not hurting you, am I, sir? Holding the barbed point and the broken arrow up to his monocle, the brigand shook his head. Not at all, me dear. Wish I jolly well steal you away to the healer of the Sinastrodon. Pretty gel like you, who knows what she's doing? Not like the old blood and fluff Hackworthy, the hare who's been present sawbones. Ha! Saw a young chap go to him with an ingrown paw claw one time. Did you know what the confounded bushman did? Pulled two of the poor beast's teeth out. What? She stifled a giggle. I've packed a wound with boiled stream moss, some sannine leaves, and curled dock leaves. We'll bandage it firmly but not too tight. Drinking this cordial, it's made from motherwort and gentian root. It will ease any pain and help to rest. Tam winked at the infirmary sister. They must have took some deep thinking to learn all about the herbs and dressings, huh? The pretty young squirrel maid answered modestly. Not really, just a lot of bitter experience and hard concentration. Now shall we escort the wounded down to lunch? I'm sure you'll enjoy Redwall cooking. Brigadier Crumshaw leaned on Tam and Doogie shortly. By the left, Redwall scoffed. I visited here before, don't you know? Finished victuals anywhere. Make our tucker taste like that stale haversack rations and hardtack. Lead on, sweet sister. Point us to the blinking trough. However, before any beast could eat, there was a burial to attend, that of the unfortunate Galloper Dempsey. Furthermore, Broofy and his crew had seen to the digging arrangements. It was a quiet little spot in the corner of the southwest wall, shaded by an old cherry plum tree, which had rooted itself into the base of the wall. Kimsey, unable to hear, watching her twin laid in the grave, sat stone-faced by the fire in the cabin hall, attended by the homely mole-wife. After the burial, the hares and the long patrol sang short verse in the farewell to their comrade. Now the sunny glades are silent where our fallen warriors lay, as the memory we treasure all the brave who marched away. Through the dusty seasons rolling o'er their passing our parade. Oh, we laughed and sang together, our face 'twill never fade. Most of the younger hares broke down in tears as Sergeant One Will stepped forward in the place of the Galloper's empty dispatching purse belt over the Fonson mount. The brigadier wiped something from his eye, replaced his monocle, and addressed his command. Vigilance in battle, alertness on the march, something every beast of the long patrol must bear in mind. Obedience to the officer's order and strict attention to the advice of the veteran comrades, vitally important. I'd say vitally, because if you'd learn these rules, you might save your life. This young galloper lost his life. I don't want to witness any more lives, particularly young ones, lost needlessly. You march to the warrior's way, learn those ways well, and burn them into your minds. You're all got your chance to avenge the memory of young Darcy in the coming days. That'll help him rest to easy, knowing his friends are continuing to fight against the evil and the burial vermin. That's all I've got to say, Sergeant. One Will threw a smart salute. Sir, all the ranks in a mess, sir, and remember your manners in front of these kind creatures dismissed. No beast could be ever gloomy for long in Redwall Army. The newcomers were made heartily welcome by the abbot and his creatures. Friar Goodson and his helpers had to kitchens work to max capacity. With the ample past experience to feeding hares, the good friar was aware of the huge appetites they possessed and the well prepared to cater to the long patrol. Gimsley busted about in his kitchens, checking everything from quality to quantity. Salad, we need mountains of good spring salad. Chop more carrots, add extra radishes, Bordy, and the little few stalks of celery won't be nearly enough. Go and get some more of the Brother Dimple, lots more. Brother Bortley the mole tugged his snout. Aye, sir, and he so fetched a good load of watercress, and scallions and leekers too. Your mudge bring ye little cart, and laid a paw. The skimper strolled into the kitchens, dipping a paw into a big wooden bowl, and licked it with relish. That tastes nice, though it'd be better with a dash of hot-root pepper in it. Gissem raised a paw threateningly. Away with you, great plunk ruddered mother. That's my own special recipe: rosehip vinegar and almond oil, salad dressing, and grated dandelion bud. Anyhow, what are you doing in the kitchen, eh? The otter chieftain stole a hot scone from the tray which had just come out of the ovens. He retreated to the door and jiggled it between both paws. Abby says to tell you lunch will be out on the lawns. He said to serve it in buffet style because he wants a full banquet supper laid out in the great hall this evening. Goodson threw up his paws in despair. Well, this is a fine time to be telling me that. Oh, well, please run down the celery right away. Tell Burlap to bring up the trestle with the folding legs. Have it set out on the lawn, not too far from the steps. Every beast sits on those steps when they have lunch out there. Now, what's next? Mushroom and onion gravy for the pastries, hazelnut for the fruit slices, damson glaze for the pear flan, cheese. I knew I'd forgotten something. Ripe yellow cheese for the grilled chestnut dip. Yum, 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 yum. All right, love you, my kids that are watching this, and anybody else. God bless.